Okay, good day, everybody. James and we're back at it. And today, the topic on hand is how to develop and cultivate confidence. Now, we live in a time where I feel we have a chasm. You have people uber confident, some could say arrogant, egoic, cocky, right? And then you have people on the other extreme, and it's like they're self-defeating. They're, just Debbie Downers. I'm running out of adjectives to describe it accurately. But anyhow, just this need to really everyone to have confidence in themselves. If everybody has confidence in themselves, then, that could be a very good starting place for a lot of other positive developments for the collective. So, yeah, man, let's get into it. So, it probably would make sense to start off by defining what confidence is, right? So, do you care to have a swing at it out the gate?
Confidence. I would say confidence is a high level of self-belief. I would say confidence is a high level of self-esteem. I would say confidence is maybe believing and being willing to take a swing at something, regardless of being able to logic your way to the end of the outcome. I would say that it's often confused for arrogance in a lot of ways. Sometimes when you have an overwhelming amount of confidence. I know you're not supposed to use the term and the definition, but that's what I say what confidence is.
Yeah, I like that. For me, the confidence it's just a belief. It's a belief because confidence necessitates that you don't always know that you are capable of something. You don't always know if the outcome is going to go the way that you hope it does, but there is a belief, or there is this belief that generates a knowing that I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can make it happen. I'm good enough. I have what it takes, But I think that's a really Webster's dictionary of confidence before we get into the actionables.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. So I guess let's start from there. Let's go into why don't we have confidence? What's going on with society? What's going on with people? What's going on with the masculine and feminine? What's going on in your estimation? Why don't we have confidence? Why is confidence even an issue that someone brings up that we need to talk about?
Yeah.
Because some of us do have it overflowing everywhere and others do not.
Yeah. I think the short of it might just be there's a lack of confidence because there's a lack of knowing of self. When people don't know who they are, they can begin to try to be other people or measure themselves against other people. Try to approach a situation thinking about it as if they were somebody they are not. And if you don't know who you are, then how can you know if you're living up to your potential, if you're pushing yourself to do things outside of your comfort zone, or if you're even spending your time and your energy on the things that make the most sense for you and what your goals, your aspirations, your hopes, dreams, all that, stuff is. And as easy it is for somebody to get online and watch what somebody else is doing, like their quote unquote every move, but I think sometimes it gets lost that usually what you see other people put out is their highlight reel. It is literally a curation of their greatest hits, and they go in, they take out the reels, they take out the bloopers. You don't hear about the L's they took. You don't hear about the sleepless nights, the tears, the heartache, the pain, the blood.
You don't hear them stumble over words either. We actually post reels all the time that don't have us stumbling over words. If you go listen to our full-length podcast, you will hear that. And not because we're not confident about the stumbling of words. We want to communicate a message to you. So we're going to cut out the shit that you don't really need to hear.
Yeah.
If you want to go hear it, you can. But
that stumbling might waste 2 seconds of your day.
Yeah, and we only have 15 seconds to communicate here. So.
Yeah, man. So, I think that's the root of why people get a lot of confidence. I think the other reason is that a lot of people, there was some event in their past, in their life, that made them think, made them believe they weren't good enough, made them think they weren't, prepared or adequate. And if someone isn't even conscious of that event taking place, it can be much harder to work through it, reconcile it, resolve it, and heal that event in their mind. Because it's like, I feel like Caleb mentioned this in the episode, but it's like you're drawing, and then one of your parents is an artist, and instead of coming over, you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and instead of them telling you did a wonderful job, they're like, actually, the shading is shit, and these lines are trash and you suck, right? That's not going to build a child's confidence, right? Or an adult or whatever. So I think those, I would say, for you can give your perspective on it, those are two really big things that could be affecting somebody's confidence level or lack thereof.
Yeah, I would say also it's pretty interesting. Kind of like the self-esteem and the self-worth thing.
Mm-hmm.
This might be irreverent. It's funny to me that we look to others to be confident in ourselves. It's funny to me that we give a damn about what anyone else has to say about how we should feel about ourselves. And I think that this can be expanded to more than just confidence. I have never had a problem with confidence, and in many cases, and oftentimes, I'm looked at as arrogant. Or I'm looked at as egotistical. I just have something, and I don't think that anyone. I don't think that I'm unique in this, channeling this part of my own belief of self. But I think that I've just decided to, at the end of the day, hey, I'm going to lean into believing that I can do literally anything. I'm going to lean into believing that I will figure it out. I'm going to go down a path of trying new shit. And actually, maybe even the amount that I've failed or the amount that I've tried to do things has built my confidence, because I've done many things that I didn't deep down think that I could do. And I was like, well, I'm going to give it a try anyways, because what does it hurt? I'm also doing this in the privacy of my own home or a bedroom or out there where no one else is around. So, especially as it pertains to creative stuff more so, or fitness stuff during the pandemic when I was working out alone. If I miss a front squat at home and nobody's around, did it really happen? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it did. And it taught me something, but I didn't have to fail in public. I didn't have to fail forward in front of anybody. I didn't have to be embarrassed that, at one time I couldn't jerk half my body weight. Some of that is just because I didn't have the technique down. Some of that is because I just didn't try or wasn't consistent enough as it pertains to weightlifting. But on the creative side, I mean, same thing can be applied. Not editing a photo the way that I want it to look, or not having the confidence to bring a specific work in raw format to finalized project, because I just haven't tried. I think that I have more confidence, and my confidence grows more and more and more and more every single time I try something new, whether I fail or I pass there. And that's not really, it's not really a pass fail. It's more of a, you learn regardless of what the outcome is. But I think that without that, there's no chance that my confidence would be as high as it is. I would not have belief of self that I could jump into something new, that I could start personal training a ton of people, that I could build a business conglomerate that I've been chatting about with the accountability group, that I want to be at a point where it takes over the fitness. I don't believe that I would have confidence in self enough to even start down that path had I not taken enough swings at things. And I don't think it's defined to just one lane. And I know that's much more long form than, we're trying to ping pong here, but you got to try some things. You got to figure out what you don't want to do, what you do want to do. You also just have to put yourself out there to be able to fail, because I don't think that you can really build your confidence by playing in theory land. You can't build your confidence.
He said theory land.
You cannot get better. You truly cannot get better at hitting a ball with a bat, playing baseball, by watching videos and never actually swinging. Mm-hmm. You cannot. None of the greats in baseball, some of them took some steroids, but none of the greats ever had the record that they had without swinging that bat. Time and time and time and time again. And probably, I don't know what the metric is. I know that Lewis Howes or Grant Cardone or somebody has some metric to how many times, the 10,000 hours, the what have you, the 10x, 100x, 200x, whatever. You've got to do that. You're not going to ever be able to create or manufacture or demand confidence out of yourself if you don't try. There's just no chance. There's no way, because everyone's going to tell you can't do it until you've made it. And they're going to say that they helped you get there.
If you got them type of people around you.
Maybe.
Right? And I think that's the other part of the confidence game, is that being the mean of the people that surround you If you have a bunch of low confidence, low self-esteem, I hate myself, people around you, don't be surprised if you start to take on some of those characteristics. On the flip side, though, if you find yourself surrounded by people who do have belief in self, do have confidence in self, and they have done something that reinforces that feeling for them, they're more likely to exude that confidence. And when you're confident, you usually don't need to put other people down. When you're confident, you usually don't have to point out other people's L's to try to enlarge your W's. And when you're confident, you tend to help encourage other people to see the worth and the value in themselves, which can help raise their confidence up. It's only insecure people that go around trying to tear down other people's accomplishments to make theirs look larger by comparison. Um, so I think that's very important because a lot of people don't really audit their circle to the degree to which they should. And that could be a literal, actually who you keep around you. It could be the top fucking 5 accounts that you look at the most. Like if they're not raising you up, if they're not making you have a greater belief in self, and not that that's anybody else's job, because it's not, right? Let's not get that fucked up. But I think people should be very mindful about how they speak to others. You know what I mean? When somebody comes to you with an idea, are you the first person to smile and be happy and congratulate them or give them, pep them up? Or are you the first person to tell them why it's not going to work, why it's going to fail, why it's going to flop? Because that says a lot about self. And get those kind of people out of your life, you know? If somebody else is struggling with confidence, one thing that I've recommended to people, I've had to do this before, is basically just sit down and tally up your dubs. The smallest of things.
You have a lot more than you think you do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if somebody just takes the time one night to take a piece of paper, literally get a pen, get a pencil, get a, mechanical, whatever you got to do, and just start going back, anytime something comes to your mind as a win. Oh, I didn't think I could make that souffle, but it came out crazy. Boom,
Yep.
that's a win. I didn't think I could, jerk the 205. Win. I didn't think I could ask the girl out on a date. That's a win. I didn't think I could make $1 million. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? One plus time, I couldn't tie my shoe and I figured that shit out. That was a win at the time. You know what I'm saying? It just
Didn't know how to drive manual transmission, figured it out. Never shot a wedding, shot 4, did well. Like anything. Never mixed a beat. There's just so many ways to communicate to yourself that you should be confident in what you're doing, that you should push forward. It's a shame that more people don't.
But if you've never been shown how, or if it's never been broken down to you, which is the goal of what we're doing here is just to explore this topic, because it's like net there's a shortage of confidence. You know what I mean? It's unequally distributed. And I ain't saying that everybody's gonna have, 68.4% of the people are gonna have the confidence, and then you're gonna have the fucking, the extremities, but it's something that has to be cultivated. You can go from low confidence to high confidence, back to low confidence, back to high confidence. It's not a stagnant place. You know what I mean? But I do think that confidence it's like fuel to drive people to do more than what they thought they could. And then it's like at that point there's a new balance that may be found of, okay, this either has you wind up more confident than prior, or you might get down on yourself. And so that's where the balance comes in, where it's like you have to acknowledge how far you already have come, and what is truly required to succeed. If somebody wants to be the one of the first people to hike some crazy trail or something like that, it's like, understand, statistically speaking, if you failed, that's like, it's statistics, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're worse than other people for not having accomplished it. Just like achieving it doesn't really mean you're better. It just means that you did achieve it. You don't know why somebody else didn't achieve the thing you're trying to do. You don't know why somebody did achieve what you couldn't. And so it's like, once again, people need to audit themselves and, try to outdo themselves before they worry about trying to outdo some stat or some other metric that is from without rather than within. And it definitely is a process. It takes discipline and it takes some humility as well to recognize that you came in this game not knowing how to do a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And you'll leave this game with a bunch of shit you still don't know how to do, but that's not a reason to not explore new things and go out there, succeed some, fail some, and enjoy the process all the while, which is easier said than done. But I think just being mindful of that can temper the wins and not let it go to your head and become egoic about it or cocky about it, and then not let those wins depress you or pull you down or make you feel like you're some fucking peon.
I have an interesting, not well accepted thought on confidence and ego, and that is that I think you might need to have a actually no, you definitely need to have a sliver, if not part of the pie of of your confidence pie, be ego for you to actually get to a very, very, very high level societally. I don't believe that you can lack confidence in building a $7 trillion company. I don't believe that you could be the next Amazon, the next Delta, without a little bit of ego that maybe spills over out of the confidence area. Not only do you need to have that confidence, but you need to almost, without a shadow of a doubt, out here believe in yourself more than anyone else ever will. And maybe that's just a high level of confidence that in society has been bastardized into ego. I think that if you look at the way that people accept confidence and accept what confidence is, it will be looked at as ego. But I think I might need to be a little bit egotistical there to think that I have the capability to build something so large, to enact enough change in the world, to rise to the level of something else comparatively that is on that level, that's international, that is touching, I don't know how many people Amazon serves, but a silly amount. I don't want to misquote, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I think that a lot of people are like, well, ego's the enemy. Mm-hmm. Ryan, I think that's Ryan Holiday. Is it ego is the enemy? Enemy?
I don't know.
Enemy.
Yeah,
I think it's Ryan Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think at a core level, colloquially, there's a misunderstanding of what ego actually is. Now, in my experience, my understanding, ego is there to serve you. Ego is nothing more, nothing less than the way that you present yourself to the outside world. So in a way, it's like your ego is kind of just the persona that you play that the world experiences you through. So ego is not cocky. Ego is not, the opposite of that. Ego is literally just how you are perceived and how you come off to the outside world. And so for that reason, it's like ego protects you. Ego is, it's like you have the id, the ego, the superego, all of that. But the ego is there to protect you. The ego is there to remind you that you are a unique individual. And so to your point, you do need to have an ego because that ego is going to remind you that you are unique, you are special, you are one of a kind, right? Because some cultures, that's not what they really teach. And she's like, no, your life is for the betterment of the collective. You are one of millions. You are one of a legion, and there will be many after you. And so it minimizes the individual. It minimizes the ego.
Doesn't religion do that?
Not all. And I think that even that, like spirituality, sacred text, history, and religion are all very different things.
For sure.
But a lot of religions do encourage that people focus more on the outside than they do on the inside. But at the same time, the whole idea of reaching salvation and saving yourself, I think a lot of that actually is, depending on how somebody wants to interpret it or how their minister, pastor, whoever taught it to them, can get things a little jaded, because ultimately the way I see it and experience it, the real purpose of religion is to be self-help, right? It's to better oneself so that they can have that community, so that they can be better, more loving, more, love thy neighbor, than they would be otherwise if they didn't have that strong sense of self and that knowing that like, oh, that idea of I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Like, that's really some gas yourself up when you do some fire shit type of saying. Like literally, when we used to run gassers in football, when that shit was killing me, I'd literally be on the line on the verge of tears. Like, I do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I do all things just to gas myself the fuck up so I could run that gasser, right? So it really all depends. Yeah. But that's why I think that ultimately, like, people should not be afraid of having an ego, because the way I experience it, that ego is simply you recognizing you're unique. There are things that make you distinct from others, and it's okay to feed that. But don't let it run rampant where you think you're more important than the other people because you're different than the other people, right? You could be the one who has $10 billion. It doesn't mean you're better than any fucking body. Yep. But your ego probably will remind you that not everybody got $10 billion. Yeah.
No, for sure. I think that's a good split there. I was just curious because I don't know. I find myself being like, well, I hope I have a little bit of ego.
Yeah, you should.
know?
You should, bro. Just
but
make
then-
sure you stay in control of it and it doesn't start controlling you.
I mean, it's something that you can use to your benefit, not the other way around. Don't let it use you. I mean, same kind of thing. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing that with really anything. You should be in control of the car. You should not let the car control you.
Right.
Just as any kind of substances, you should be in control of those substances, not them using you. Okay, so tips for people that are listening. Yeah. How do we increase confidence? Is it reading? Is it getting in a boxing ring? Is it
I feel you.
Learning a new language? Like what?
Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple, right? Be grateful.
Okay.
Smile. Be humble, right? That practical step we talked about. If you need to, write down your wins. What you got, Sam? Come on, let's get it.
Affirmations.
Affirmations.
Affirmations. Also speaking in a manner of abundance. I think that's very important. And I actually got checked on Sunday by the man that's sitting right next to me, talking about some plans that I had. And he was like, whoa. Not future, not past, present. Speak in present tense. And you'd be shocked if you haven't tried to speak in present tense about things that you quote unquote want to do. If you shift it, it sounds so goofy. I know I used to be on that train. Y'all are a bunch of goofballs. A bunch of silly geese out here. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? But it works. It really does, because it shifts. Your actions start to align. Your actions align with your thinking, and if you change your thinking, your actions will probably follow suit there. And so if those are more aligned with where you're trying to be at, what you're trying to do day to day, I think the affirmations are important. I think also surrounding yourself with people that are supportive of you, but also are willing to check you right in the face.
Yes.
Check you right in the face as hard as you need to be checked so that you're better.
Yeah.
There's a voluntary subscription to those around you to know. There's a voluntary subscription with those around you that are out here doing. All right, the camera died, so now y'all are going to be seeing a picture of my face. But there needs to be a voluntary subscription with individuals around you that you all want the best for one another. And if you all don't want the best for one another, then that's someone that needs to go. Those people that you know have your best interest are the best people to check you when you're messing up, when you're saying things that aren't aligned with what you truly want. Now, for that to happen, you also have to be honest and clear, upfront, open with them. But if you don't have those people around you, you need to find them. Because without them, you'll be walking around in la-la land. And you might you absolutely will get somewhere. You probably won't get where you're trying to go. And if you do, it's going to take 10, 20x to get there from what it could, from the quick audits, and taking a little bloody nose here and there.
Yeah, I like that. What we got on time?
We got five minutes.
Five. Okay, I just want to throw out some more small things that could be useful, but maybe seem kind of goofy. When you speak, and even when you think and you reflect, delete the filler words to the best of your ability. Work on less ums, less maybes. Oh, yeah, that's a better way to put it. So I realized a few years ago, I did it myself, and I started noticing it in people around me, and it came a lot from women around me that I noticed. Also some men as well, but a lot of people speak in a kind of, they speak in a weak way. So they think that, oh, well, I think I can maybe do it. That might happen. I thought it could possibly be this. And so it's all these things that effectively insert doubt of the outcome. So for instance, if I know that I need to work out later, I have a goal of working out, I can either say, hey, I am going to work out later. So that powerful phrase, the I am, the I am going to work out, versus I am maybe going to work out. I'm gonna make $3 million this year, or I might make $3 million this year. So as one begins to audit themselves, and if you haven't, if there would be a book I'd recommend people to check out, it'd be the Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP. And so basically it's just going to be this whole breakdown of just like the psychosomatic connection and how your posture, the word choices you use, the way that you think, just how all of this plays into your emotions, and then as a result, your thought process as well. And so deleting those weak filler words, working on your posture, stand upright. When you speak to somebody, look them in the eyes, and get which throwing the gamut. Power posing. Stand in the mirror, for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes a day. It's not egoic. Stand in the mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself how powerful you are, that you can do it, that you are good enough. And do enough of those different things. You don't got to do every single one. Find the things that work for you. Do them consistently enough. And by golly, it's like you said, you used to think some of the shit was goofy, and then you gave it enough time. You know what I'm saying? I think you started to respect me and see other people and just kind of find some commonalities. It's like, damn, that's something they do, and it seems to be working for them. And that's something. And then you tried it yourself. You start to see some of the results, and like, huh.
And the interesting thing about that is it's all, and this is another goofy thing, it's all within you. It's all there.
That sounds cheesy.
It's all there. It's there. Like, do you want to tap into it or do you not? Do you want to sleep enough so that the plaque doesn't build up on your face, on the front of your head? Father Doug, thank you. Or do you not? I mean, there's seasons to things, but you don't have the capability to just wait for your seasons of confidence. You got to create it for yourself, and you've got to put yourself in the spot to reap the rewards. I mean, if you don't intentionally sow those seeds, you're going to sow other seeds, and then what blossoms is going to be something that's detrimental to your life instead of positive. And I think that, no, I don't think, I know that if you just go haphazardly, you'll have haphazard results and you will get somewhere. You absolutely will. And I reiterated this, I believe, when the camera died. You will get somewhere. You just probably won't get where you'd like to be. You just won't. There's no chance.
Yeah. So grab that destiny of yours and make it thine own. Yeah. What else you got for him, man?
No, I think that's about it. Confidence is something that you can manufacture for yourself through failing, through surrounding yourself with the right people. We have given a handful of recommendations here. I think if you're not confident, start trying some of these things. And if they don't work for you, swing at us. Go ahead. Come back. Let's hear it. Love to hear it, because the things that I'm telling you right now that have worked for me have been things that I've taken directly from them working for other people. So if they don't work for you, try the consistency. Try to increase the consistency. If you are getting to a place where you're becoming insecure and it's blending, or it's spilling over, not blending, it's spilling over into parts of your life, like business, and you're really having a hard time, you might just need to increase the amount of time that you spend reaffirming yourself, that you spend in front of the mirror, that you spend doing things that build your confidence, and you'll have some crazy results. We're about up on time, so I think that's it. We promise to do better on technical difficulties on cameras in the future.
Okay. Well, thank y'all again, and subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It will help us out if you so choose, and we appreciate your time. Peace.
Absolutely.